It is time.
Let's.
Mr. Mohammed, how are you?
I'm gonna hurry you.
I'm good, man. Thank you for making me wait. No, I'm playing. Let's get this ready. Guys, we have a amazing guest today.
Yep,
Her name, she's a co-founder of Game Changers. She's a forex trader. We're gonna get to know her and speak to her. Let's invite her.
let's bring on the show.
Let's do it.
Bum, 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 bum. My life, my life, my life, my life.
Why are you singing, fam?
Because it is hot today. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to have an ice cream cone, popsicle, whatever cold refreshment drink. It's summer, it's a hot day, so make sure to enjoy yourself. We have a nice episode today, so I want you guys to sit back and relax, take some notes as we bring on our guests.
Yes, yes. Take
Um,
some. Well, ice cream depends what kind of ice cream you're having. Is it chocolate or is it vanilla?
French vanilla is the best flavor of ice cream.
No, it's not. Next
Yes, it is.
question. No, it's not.
What's the best flavor, Osama?
Chocolate
Chocolate.
or Sundays, normal Sunday. Like Wagwan. First of all, bro, have you had hummus ice cream?
Hummus?
Ice cream, hummus ice cream.
Hummus ice cream. Never, ever, ever, ever in my life will I
It's
taste hummus ice cream. I've tasted durian fruit, like the fruit, like that, the most the hardest fruit to eat ever because it's terrible. Um,
yeah.
there's durian ice cream. I tried it once, it was the exact same reaction as eating the fruit. So
Wow.
I don't mind hummus, but as far as ice cream, I don't think that's something that's
Well,
appealing to me.
it doesn't exist.
That's funny. Now I sound like a dumbass. That's hilarious. I'm pretty sure it exists somewhere for sure.
Probably. Leen, what's up? Thank you for joining us today.
Is she there?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
hey.
where'd she go? All
How
right,
are you
cool.
guys?
That's good, man. We're good. We're good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Mohammed, start it off, bro.
All right, to start things off, welcome to What Are You Saying? My name is Mohammed. I'm here with my co host Osama. Make sure to follow us at Waste 2.0. Once again, at Waste 2.0. That's our group page on Instagram. Go follow Osama at Kusa300. Once again, at Kusa300. My personal Instagram page is at Mohammed.global. You can follow me at Mohammed.global. We make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Every episode will be uploaded Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker, Anchor, and various platforms. We want to make sure
And
you guys have the best content and value possible.
and where can they find you, Leen?
Oh, my Instagram is lean.safe. So you can find me on Instagram, lean.safe.
Guys, go follow her right
How
now.
do you spell your last name, just in case? Because some people are just oblivious.
SAIF.
Guys, get Leen to 10,000 followers immediately.
Yeah, guys, I'm 500 followers away from that, maybe less. It's just been stuck.
What
Guys,
will
get
it
her
mean for you
10,000
to have
followers.
10,000 followers?
Sorry?
What will it mean for you to have 10,000 followers?
10,000 followers. It just means that I'm providing that much value.
That's a good answer.
All
All
right.
right, let's start things off. All right, so the first thing people want to know about you, you are the co-founder of Game Changers, all right? Explain
Yes.
to everyone what is Game Changers.
Game Changers. So Game Changers is, I'd like to say a an organization, but it's honestly more than that. It's more like family, more like a culture where we all work together to support each other's purposes, and we do that in terms of helping each other grow, education wise, self development wise, public speaking, literally any skill you can think of. We help each other build that. So it's pretty much an organization, more like a family, to help each other achieve their goals and just be financially fit.
That's a beautiful answer. That's amazing. Obviously, it's a culture and a lifestyle that you are providing for a lot of people. And do you guys have a Instagram page so people go follow it, or
No, no, we just have our personal pages, and we're all co-founders of Game Changers.
and how long have
Also,
you been a member of Game Changers for?
A year and a half ago, I joined January 2019. I believe it was January 30th, 2019. And it was a really special day to me because I just knew that I took a huge step in terms of leaving behind everything I've always dreaded for my future. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into it soon, but I've always had a much bigger vision for myself in the future, and I knew that my current path was not taking me anywhere. So a year and a half when I took that decision, it was a huge step for me.
So what made you want to go? Like, obviously we spoke about this before, like personally, but like the people listening, like what allowed you to change your mind to enter the entrepreneurship mindset?
I believe I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. I just didn't have the right circumstances around me to allow me to show it. So at that point, I've had enough. It was a year and a half ago. I was in my third year of university. I'm a media studies student at University of Gulf Humber. I just graduated actually, and
Congrats.
thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. So I knew that I wanted, the reason I chose media is because I wanted the creativity side of it. But 3 years in the program, I realized I was not getting that. I was just getting theory. I was just getting books, and I realized it was just a waste of my time. And then when I really heard about Doug Ford making all these OSAP changes, I don't know if it affected you, but it did affect me.
I
And
remember.
that's yeah, everyone was just mad, and I went on a rant on social media. So when I did go on that rant, someone reached out to me and said, "Why don't you do something online?" And it really got me thinking. I thought about different options. I thought about e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon FBA. There's just so many options out there that you can do online.
Yeah.
Whether it was even like setting up your own online course if you have a skill set to teach people. But to me, after doing my research, I found that the easiest and most accessible one is entering like the trading markets, whether it was stocks, forex, crypto. And not only that, but it would take certain skill sets that I felt like I had already at the beginner
Hmm.
days. So I was like,
Yeah.
what, might as well start developing those too.
So like you spoke about like the options that were presented to you after the whole Duckforce situation with the OSAP and him limiting funds, and then obviously you determining what your next step is going to be. So what captivated you to choose forex over the other options?
Other options, they all like I was a broke student. I was a broke student and I needed money, and the
Yeah.
other options had a big capital. You needed a big startup. So in order to have a Shopify website or Amazon FBA, I've met some people. I've sat in some meetings where they told me about their experience and how I would be taking my first steps, and it just required a lot of money, a lot of trial and error. And there's no guarantee that your product is really going to launch.
Yeah.
No,
But
absolutely.
yeah, of course. So I mean, it's an amazing business to run. I would love, but at that point of time, I didn't have the money, so I needed the least capital possible in order to start up my journey being an entrepreneur.
What's the one thing that you learned throughout like entering forex? Because obviously like forex is a huge market and a lot of stuff to learn. Like a lot of people do think that they're just doing it for the money, but there's obviously more value. So what did forex teach you in terms of obviously like you speak about leadership, so build you into the person that you are today?
It taught me a lot about emotional resilience. The forex market teaches you numbers, teaches you about the economics of the world, the news, everything that happens around you. But mainly, it taught me about emotional resilience. You have to be emotionally resilient. You can't be greedy. You can't be wanting more. You can't be emotional over your losses.
Yeah,
You just have to accept that it's either a gain or a lesson. There's
Yeah.
no losses,
no, absolutely. I
right?
like how
So
you said that, gainer a lesson.
yeah, it's a gain or a lesson. And then also another thing I learned about the forex market is the chart. If you look at the chart of a forex market, I always compare it to my journey in my career or just life in general. It's up and down.
Wow.
So you're gonna have your ups and downs, but as long as you go in an uptrend, which is also a term that you use trading,
Yeah.
as long as your life is in an uptrend, you're good. But be accepting of the fact that there's going to be downfalls and pullbacks.
I like your analogy how you said you look at life in terms of a forex market graph. I've never thought of it once until you just mentioned it today. And just looking at that, like life should be like life is obviously up and down. How you were basically talking about people shouldn't be like about emotionless and how it's taught to be like emotionally strong because obviously a lot of people who are entering forex, they have to understand that they are able to lose their money, and you have to like take the risk. Obviously, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
100%. It also teaches you to blame yourself rather than blaming your surroundings.
Powerful.
You can't you can't blame the states for making a new deal with China and that caused you to lose your money. Like it just you can't do that. So you have to put the blame on yourself and just try different techniques every single time. So it really it strengthened me in terms of accepting fear. I always lived in my comfort zone, and this really pushed me in terms of stepping out of my comfort zone every single time I put a trade in. And not only that, but I started reflecting that in terms of leadership and just skills in general. So I stopped being an introvert and started hopping more onto that side of extrovert. Nothing wrong with being an introvert. I'm still half introvert, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a world out there that you don't get to experience if you're an introvert.
No, and I agree with you 100%. Sometimes, and there's nothing, as you mentioned, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert. I just feel that you are missing a lot of stuff in the world, and when you're not a fully when you're fully an introvert and you're scared to like attack certain obstacles in life, because obviously when you are in markets like forex trading or like in entrepreneurship, you can't be too much of an introvert because it's gonna stop you from doing business with people because you're always like scared to go out and scared to meet people. And obviously, we like as an entrepreneur for anybody, you would want your days where you're alone, but at the end of the day, you have to be an extrovert when it's time to do business.
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
I have a question. Obviously, since we're in the forex industry, a lot of people don't really respect forex. And tell me about your experience joining forex, because usually people try to stop you from joining the industry. And since you've been doing it for so long, how do you feel, and what do you say to people when they ask you what do you do? And you're like, I'm involved in the forex industry, and they just give you like a side eye, or they'll make fun of you, or they just put shame on the industry. So how do you deal with the adversity from people who don't really understand the concept of what forex is, but they just go by the negative stigma that surrounds your industry?
Yeah, you said it yourself. They don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And my role, as I'm not a marketer, I'm an educator before being a marketer. My job is to
Ooh,
educate them. So I get these people on a daily basis. I actually get people who just have so much, I don't want to say hate, maybe envy, because I do know that they wish they were in a better position in their life,
of
and
course.
they just really don't understand it. So
Yeah.
if I was able to sit down and break it down to this negative person, it could potentially change their perspective. So what I usually tell them is, you are taking part in the foreign exchange market, whether you like it or not. When
Yeah,
you buy something online, when you travel and exchange currencies, you're just most of the time on the losing side, because the Canadian dollar obviously is not that great in comparison to the US.
yeah.
For example, everything is dominated by the US dollar these days. So you are a part of it, whether you like it or not. Let me show you how you can be on the winning side. Because game changers, it's huge. Thousands and thousands around the world. It's international. We're in 80 different countries. So you can't tell me that our system is not working. Every day we have new members. Every day we have testimonies. Every day we have people showing this to their family and friends. And let me tell you, I've told my parents about this, and I give them advice on what to invest in and everything. So I wouldn't be telling my family and my friends and my loved ones to join me if I didn't believe in it, or if I knew I was doing them wrong in a way. So it is, as an industry, the reason I find it has a bad stigma around it is because of all the false advertisement and the people who post all the flashy stuff,
Yeah,
the cars, the clubs, the girls, and it just has a really bad negative image. But a real trader, I was actually going to talk about this on my Instagram story today, but
tell us
a
here.
real yeah, a real trader, they don't really look like, they're not all dripping in chains and in
Yeah.
diamonds, and they're not they don't have all the Gucci on. That's not what a real trader looks like. They're just regular people. They're probably wearing a regular white t-shirt with some, I don't know, sitting at home reading a chart, and and yes, they make a lot of money, but they don't have that mindset on just blowing it on some random things. So these people that you see on social media who are doing that are probably part of a network marketing company. I am part of a network marketing company, but I've always kept it real with my followers. I've told them I'm in debt. I've told them I'm a student. I still took OSAP. I've told them I had a job. I told them when I quit my job. But they were, and the reason I'm successful in it is because I'm so transparent.
Honesty,
They've
yeah.
I have, yeah, I've had these followers. I was telling Osama earlier that I've had these followers for a while, and most of them have been watching me through my journey. Like most of them have seen me go through through a lot of ups and downs, through multiple jobs, multiple different scenarios where I was just not happy,
Yeah.
and just dealing with situations. But now they can see the change. They can see that I've upgraded in life, and I don't do that by posting flashy stuff. Yesterday I posted I was in a car dealership, but I actually am upgrading my car. Why? Because I can now. I am a network marketer, and I do get paid as a network marketer, and it does pay me well, where I can now upgrade my car, right? So, but I don't exaggerate things. I don't sugarcoat things. Yes, you will lose money in the forex market. Other marketers may not tell you that.
You know,
That is where the bad stigma, I believe, comes from.
you know what, one thing I liked about, like you were saying about in the beginning, that a lot of people will like throw hate towards you, but I just feel, as to add on to your point, people will throw their hate because they're insecure of themselves and what their capabilities are. So the only way they know how to react is just to throw insecurities. Like any market you enter is hard, and at the end of the day, just because they feel something working is for you, they're gonna have a stigma on any project that you partake in. It's like, oh, well, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose money. If someone's thinking of life as that, then I don't see no success for you, because no matter what industry you take, you're looking at the money and what you're gonna lose. And you here are like, obviously, and you're mentioning about what you were telling me. For everyone that's listening, I've been following Leen for the past 2 years. I've always seen you speak about positivity and like talking about going achieving your goals.
Yeah. And honestly, what's fun about living life with no risk? There's nothing fun about that.
Of course.
Of
There's
course.
and honestly, you're already taking a big risk by people who go get a degree. And listen, I have nothing against education. I'm all for it, all for it. But don't be brainwashed into that being the only income you have, stream of income from a job. Because first of all, you're graduating, you don't know if you're getting that job or not.
Yep.
Hmm.
Once you do get that job, you're most likely are not going to be happy, and you're
Yep.
going to be living paycheck to paycheck, and that's just the norm right now. Some people actually are well off. That's great, that's amazing, I'm happy for them. But the majority, the average Canadian, is only $200 away from being broke. That's a flat tire that they can't afford to fix
Yeah.
at one point
Hmm.
in on a bad month.
Yeah.
And you never want to have more month at the end of your money, right? You want to
Hmm.
have more money at the end of your month. So that's honestly what I always aim for. Diversify your incomes. They say a millionaire needs an average of seven different streams of income. I don't really say maybe seven. Maybe if you're really good at one or two,
Yeah.
you will get it to a million. But in terms of security, yeah, for sure, for sure. Diversify your incomes, have different investments. But in terms of network marketing, it's one of the different incomes that I have. I invest in the forex market, I invest in the crypto market. Those are already two different incomes. Network
Hmm.
marketing is my third. And network marketing, and let me just in a nutshell explain it to you guys. I have experts on a side and I have clients on a side. To connect the two, I am the middle person. And the reason people have their guard up so high when they talk to network marketers or when they're approached by a network marketer is because they think we're trying to sell them something.
Of course.
But like I told you guys, I'm not. I truly see a lot of value in the services that we offer. I honestly do feel like I'm doing people a favor by introducing it to their life, because a lot of my members actually, whatever fee they start off with, a lot of my members make that money back within the first couple months.
Wow.
Where else are you going to invest into a business and make back the money you initially started with within the first 2 months,
No, yeah, for sure.
right? So yeah, that's just the stigma around hate and network marketing and where it all comes from.
Well, to everyone that hates out there, they can go bun themselves.
Exactly.
That's just, I have a question for you though.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
what was my question? Oh, what would you say to, like, what would you tell someone that's entering the forex industry? What advice would you give him or her entering the industry? Like, what would you guide them with in terms of like not making mistakes?
Not making mistakes.
Or what's your advice? Like,
Now,
not even mistake, but what would your advice be to them?
entering the forex market or entering any of these risky markets, you do need a system. don't think that YouTube and Google are gonna make you millionaires. Maybe if you find the right playlist that has the right, like, step 1, step 2, step 3.
That's funny.
This if that's the case, then I could have bought all my textbooks and read them at home instead of going to university and having my professor read it out loud to me
That's
in
true.
class,
That'd be true.
right? So you do have to invest into your education. You do have to invest into any skill set that you have, and find yourself a mentor. Find yourself a system. Find yourself a mentor that has already what you want, and ask them, what steps did you take? Tell me exactly what I need to do to get to where you are. And just break out of your comfort zone. Don't get too comfortable. If you're too comfortable, you're not going to accept the losses. The losses are what's going to teach you mainly.
No, I agree with you. I feel like once you get too comfortable in any market is when you start losing, especially when, yeah, just getting comfortable. Like, a lot of people get comfortable in terms of the money that they're making, the sex that they're getting, and they don't want to elevate, and that's when I guess you just stay where you are. You stay at a plateau, which to me I don't agree with at all, because I want to keep
Yeah,
achieving for success.
of course. Yeah, for sure. You want to move forward.
I have a question. So you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, mainly three streams of income right now. Obviously, you want more in the future. You're always growing, you're always evolving. So therefore, you accepted the fact that you know your goal, you know what you want to do. So therefore, nothing's going to stop you. You're going to meet a lot of people in your industry or any other field that say they have big dreams, big visions, and all these things. But when adversity comes, hardship, struggles, any form of factor that comes their way that's unexpected or the unknown, they decide to quit. Most of the time, with you in your position, you have been on the other side. So usually your job is to make sure they don't quit. You try to guide them and let them know how to persevere through the adversity that they're dealing with currently, right? So what do you usually tell people when they're on the verge of quitting, or they just can't seem to get past a certain point and they're just always stuck? What do you usually say to people like that?
Anyone that I work with, or anyone that takes the decision to join my team and accept my help, is has to tell me what their why is and what their purpose is. And their why has to be so big that it scares them when they think about it, or it makes people look at them like they're insane. That's
Yeah.
how big their why has to be. If you tell me you want to build a UFO at one point, I don't care what it is. I'm going to remind you that it's only possible if you take yourself there. No one else did it. Or I mean, obviously no one else built a UFO,
Conspiracy.
but I mean, if it's not possible, no one's going to take you there. It's no one else's job but yours. So whenever anyone is having doubts, whenever anyone is dealing through some hardships, and they're dealing through a major pullback, or I pull up a forex chart, I look at it, I'm like, look, is it pulling down? Is it having a pullback? Yeah, okay. But guess what's gonna happen? This currency is gonna go back up and it's gonna break through. Your life is gonna look exactly like this chart. You want to keep going up, and this is my analogy, I use it all the time. But and the only thing that gets you to push and break through from a pullback is your goal, is your why, is your purpose. What else are you gonna do? You're gonna have to. I've multiple times thought of quitting,
Yeah.
multiple times, and I'm just gonna be real with you. It gets too hard sometimes, and it gets too pressuring, because you're basically telling people that with your help they're going to achieve their dream.
Yeah.
So what do you do to remind yourself? Because you were talking about, like, sometimes you feel like it's a lot of pressure and it's tough. So what do you do to remind yourself that, like, to keep on track and that you got this?
Lean. Ba-bum, bum, da-dum, dum. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, in the meantime, we can shout out our Instagram accounts.
I think Leen is having technical difficulties, so she'll reconnect. In the meanwhile, I'll definitely let you guys know where to follow us. Once again, our Instagram handle, our main group page is at Ways 2.0. Once again, at Ways 2.0. To follow Osama, you can follow him at Kusa300. Once again, at Kusa300. My personal Instagram page is Mohammed.global. You can reach me at Mohammed.global. Leen, what is your IG page?
Leen Saif. Sorry, it got
No
cut
problem.
out. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Yes, we're
back.
continuing on with our conversation. Osama, you had a question for originally?
Yeah, I had a question. So before
Yes.
originally, I was gonna ask you. You're talking about. You were basically saying that sometimes a lot of pressure on yourself because you always remind people that they can do stuff, but then when it comes to you as a person, sometimes like you'll lose faith. Not necessarily lose faith, but you'll have pressure over yourself and like a lot of negative thoughts. So what do you do to remind yourself that you got this and you're gonna keep going, achieving your goal?
Oh, right. Yeah, because I was telling you that I have a lot of this pressure. I remind myself that I hold myself accountable for other people for other people at not reaching their goal. That's I'm not responsible of them reaching their goal, but at least seeing progress to getting to their goal. When someone enters my team and tells me, I wish I could be this one day and be this inspirational or motivational person that people look up to, but they're too shy to show their face on camera to influence their friends on social media, their couple hundred followers.
Mm-hmm.
That's my job to push them out of their comfort zone, and this is what I hold myself accountable every day for. People are counting on me, and I can't fail them. And also, I also won't accept my previous lifestyle where I was just part-time jobs, advancing my skill sets, but getting the same wage
Yeah.
paid to me. So I don't see myself going back, to be honest. I'm too far in. I'm too deep in the game. And no matter how hard it gets or how pressuring it gets, I love getting out of my comfort zone.
It's
When it comes
amazing.
to goals, is it an underrated thing or an overrated exposure? How do you set your goals? Do you look at your goals constantly every single day? When you decide to improve on a new goal, does it matter when you accomplish one? Is goals an overrated thing, or is it very something that's very nominal and doesn't make any sense and no one should really talk about it? What do you think about goals?
Goals are crucial for someone's success, I believe, because I mean, I don't really like to believe that I have an end destination as a goal. I look at them as milestones. But other than that, why would you bother moving forward if you don't have a destination you want to get to? Like where are you driving to in your
That's
life?
bars right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where are you taking yourself? You're your own vehicle. So I believe the each goal is supposed to be a milestone. You're supposed to have goals, multiple goals, and how you choose your goals or how you come up with your goals is it really depends on what kind of person you are. There's three types of people. There's pessimists, there's realists, and there's visionaries. Pessimists are people who set really low goals and are the ones who are like I told you so when they don't get there.
Yeah.
They look at the negative side of your journey or your progress. And realists are people who just choose really realistic goals. Like for example, I'm going to get a promotion in my job 6 months in. That's really realistic.
Yeah.
Show up on time, get things done before the due date. You're gonna get promoted. It's not that hard. A visionary is someone who thinks is maybe a junior or entry level and says, "Hey, 2 years from now, I'm going to be a CEO of a company just like this." That's a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
And visionaries shoot really high. It's like that saying where they say, "Aim for the stars and land on the moon."
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't really get to the star, but you got somewhere. You got much higher than the realist and the pessimist by aiming that
Yeah.
high.
One of my favorite
So
quotes.
yeah, I live by that. I always whenever someone looks at me like you're crazy, I just say, you know what, it is what it is. I know I'm going somewhere, and that's what matters.
Well, obviously your hard work shows off because you obviously are always you're obviously always posting about your work and like you basically even though you talk and about it, you still back it up with your work. So that should show everybody that anything is possible. Like talking about pessimistic realists and visionaries, I don't think no one should ever call out a visionary because they're gonna go and achieve their end goal. Like I like how you said that you don't have goals, you have milestones, but you don't allow the milestones to like stop you. You keep going and going and going, and that's how you know you're a visionary because you have more than one destination to get to.
Yes, for sure. I honestly support all visionaries. I know it's hard for you guys out there, all the visionaries, but I'm with you. I understand.
Hold on. Actually, that's a good point, Osam. I actually want to ask you that. You said that you shouldn't question the action of a visionary. Obviously, people do that. We hear the stories all the time about great people who go on to change the world when they're young, when they have these big ideas, these aspirations.
Yeah.
People around them thought they were crazy. And eventually, at one point, through perseverance and continuous action, they went on to change the world, and then everyone right now is like, oh my god, look at that person, he's my hero, I look up to him, I follow everything he reads and all the different stuff like that. Why is it important not to question a visionary, and how do you know who's a visionary, who's a realist, and who's a pessimist? Because obviously it's hard when you're young, you don't have that much data, that much information as far as people skills, human interaction. So how do you know who's a visionary at that current moment when they're starting in the beginning stages?
Amazing question.
Their vocabulary.
Mm.
It honestly determines if someone is my friend or is out of my life. If someone is so negative, if someone
Yeah.
said, for example, if I look at something and I say, I hate this, and it's
strong.
just something so simple, like let's just say I'm looking at this weird green color car and I don't like the color. I'm not gonna say I hate it. I say I don't prefer this color.
It's true.
It's just because it's a reflection of their attitude towards everything. If they strongly use these negative words, and I always say I protect my peace. And if your words are disrupting my peace, you're just, I can already tell what kind of person you are. I am Middle Eastern, and coming from the Middle East, you get a lot of pessimists, a lot around you, a lot of I told you so's. My family actually being them. So I've faced that struggle on a daily basis. Right now, I have results to show, and it kind of gets them out of my way.
Yeah.
But I know who pessimists are, and I know that it all starts with their vocabulary. So it says a lot. It's also in terms of in the future raising a family, raising kids, or it just taught me how much vocabulary makes a difference in terms of someone's self-confidence growing up as well. So that's how
I love your answer, and I just want to add on to Mohammed's book to your question, because like Mo, we spoke about this about in our like past 2 episodes about just like in terms of like what we're talking about right now. I feel also, to add on to Lean's point, it's also someone's perspective on life and how they view things. Like if you're a negative person, like as like Leen was saying earlier, I don't feel, and like, as you said, talking about like using your vocabulary, I don't see you going achieving stuff because your outlook on life is always negative. Like you're negative towards people, you're negative towards yourself, and then that you're just building up negativity around you.
Yeah,
I see.
you can't be nice to yourself. You're not going to be nice to others.
It's true.
I honestly do believe to anyone that's, I've actually always believed this. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you should always have good for others. No matter what you're trying to do, always have good for other people. Like for example, people who are like doing their thing. If you hear your friend wants to do something, you should encourage him, because that person might help you down the road. Because after all the value that you've given him and like you've helped him out, he'll like people will never forget that. And I'm pretty sure like Lee, you might have those people in your life where like they've always given you positive feedback, and they've always like encouraged you.
Yeah. And as an entrepreneur, you're on your own. You're on your
Always.
own. So
Always.
everyone you encounter, you want to make sure you have that connection and they're part of your network. You
You're a
never know
lone
when
wolf.
you're gonna need them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So just make it a little easier on yourself and be nice to others.
I guess because we don't want to keep you long. I have one final question for you. Where does Leen see
Okay.
herself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years. You want the visionary answer or the realist
I
answer?
want the Leen. I want the visionary answer. The realist answer.
Visionary.
I want to
Oh,
see your vision in 5 years. And I know
Talk
what
to
you're
the
capable of
dreamers,
doing,
innovators, talk to everyone.
because I believe in
okay.
you.
Thank you guys. I believe in you guys too. Honestly, I love what you guys are doing, and I love these podcasts. I love your energy. I honestly was going to ask you who do you see yourself, but I can already tell. Like I'm talking to two visionaries right now, and honestly, just makes me proud to say that you guys are taking it this far, and you're really taking it seriously. You're not letting it die down. I've been consistent, seeing your posts, seeing your growth. That's just something
Appreciate
I
it.
want to point out. But where I see myself 5 years from now. Honestly, let me tell you a part of my why. One of my milestones, a long-term milestones, is to have an organization that runs different charities to support different causes around the world, with the end destination for that cause to be Palestine. So 5 years from now, I want to have a big impact on helping different families in Palestine. And
Hmm.
not only that, but I also want to be a voice for not only entrepreneurs on social media, but also female Arab entrepreneurs, and that I
Yeah,
believe is a big minority.
no,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so right now, just on the verge of 10K, please get me there. The
Guys,
verge of
get
10K,
Leen to
that's the
10,000
beginning of the
followers.
journey.
10,000.
Guys, get
10,000.
her to 10,000. I want to see by the end of June for Leen to be at 10,000 followers.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
My final
Inshallah,
question
yeah.
is I want to know who are your top three heroes. The top three heroes, role models, people you look up to all the time. Either you love their books, the way they speak, their thinking patterns. And not only these people are your like top three role models, but you see yourself eventually like becoming friends with them and talking to them, sharing ideas, and they actually look to you for advice and just help with their knowledge and your sense of purpose.
I have, well, for different parts of my life, um, obviously one of them, I had a really cheesy answer to this, but honestly, it is true. I would say me 10 years from now.
Ooh,
And
that's different.
Jeez,
That's different.
that's insane.
That's different.
but obviously it would take me other role models to get there, right? So like I said, like I always go by finding yourself a mentor. And for different parts of my life, I believe, for example, of a family, like looking up, look, I would look up to my parents to build a stable family and to understand how to raise my family properly. And I would look up to my parents. But in terms of career, I love, do you know the real Bradley on Instagram? Have you come across him? He's kind of like Gary Vee or kind of like Tony Robbins,
I
but
Oh, I
he's
think
haven't heard
really
him.
brutal.
what's his name?
Bradley.
Bradley.
Bradley. Let me see if I.
Brad, you should definitely look him up. He is brutal. He has the most honest and just hurtful answers you have to any question. Other than
Oh,
that,
I
I
know. I
have,
know him.
you know him?
Yep, yep. I
He's,
know him.
yeah, yeah. He honestly, whenever I see his videos, it pumps me up.
Hmm.
But in terms of wisdom and in terms of a really good motivational push. But in Game Changers, actually, the main founders of Game Changers are two people who I really look up to, and because of them, I started this journey. Actually, one of them, his name is Rakan Khalifa. He's the one that messaged me on social media, and he's the one who was like, "Why don't you do something online?" Without that simple DM, I would have never been here. So
Yeah.
I really
Hmm.
look up to him. He was mentored by Kane Harriet, who I also look up to, and these two people who brought this whole organization to life, because of them we're all here, and because of them I now have a new skill set added on in my pocket, to live off. So yeah, I really look up to them. They have amazing teams. Everyone is just so loyal to them, and they have amazing manners as entrepreneurs in this business.
That's incredible. That's honorable. It's amazing that instead of choosing outside people, obviously, as answers that people you look up to, the fact they use people that's close to you, people that had that change and that imprint in your life forever is really crucial. And it shows that obviously you really honor self development, relationships, and mentors that's going to push you no matter what. So the fact that, like you said, emotional resilience, that's the number one factor for being successful in Forex as far as the industry. The fact you talked about the leadership, talked about the fact they talked about not quitting, all these different factors throughout the whole conversation shows that you are an exceptional force. We can't wait to see what you do in the future. We'd love to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. And for one last time, let people know where they can follow and find you and why people should follow you on Instagram.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. My Instagram is leen.saif, Leen.saif. And hit me up for more Forex details and just self development in general. I promise you, I will help you break out of your shell. And honestly, these two people here, I loved your questions. I love being on here. Honestly, no, your questions, they mean something. You guys, I can tell what kind of people you are just by how you're leading the conversation, and I can tell you guys are leaders of the future on social media. A lot of people will be inspired by what you guys are doing. So keep it up.
I'm not gonna cry.
Don't cry,
Mohammed,
don't
don't
cry.
cry. Leen, we thank you very much for taking your time to come on our podcast. Guys, I'm gonna say it one more time. Get Leen to 10,000 followers. I'm gonna message you guys personally.
Soon.
Yeah, well, soon. Thank you for again. We want you to come back because I had a lot of fun today. I know Mohammed did as well.
Learned a
I
lot.
will, with new achievements to talk about.
Sounds amazing. Anyways, Leen, thank you very much for coming, and we hope you have an amazing day.
You as well. Thank you so much.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
Take care.
You too.
What an amazing episode.
What an amazing episode, Osama.
Let me tell you. For a lot of people that don't know, I said it earlier. This is the first time obviously speaking to her. I spoke her. I've had her. We've been following each other on Instagram for the past 2 years, and
Yeah.
obviously seeing her on our Instagram live and seeing the type of person she is. I've always known how ambitious she was based on her Instagram. Obviously, we've had conversations in the past, but getting to hear her story, and that's probably only it's only been what half an hour, 40 minutes, and obviously we could have went longer, but obviously she's a busy person, busy entrepreneur.
Yeah.
40 minutes, I was captivated by her answers, like in terms of what she wants in life and how she's here to help out people. It's amazing.
I think the good thing about our show is we're having guests, like people who not only went through trauma and difficulties and who are not only become successful in their industry and field, but they're showing the reason why they became successful and how honest they are, the transparency. Because like network marketing, especially network marketing is an industry that's not respected. Forex is an industry that's not respected. So obviously when you hear people and know people who are in those industries, you have a certain perception and mentality of who they are and how they
Yeah.
talk and the way they treat you. So
No,
obviously,
for
like
sure.
yourself, we've been following her for the past 2 years. And one thing I could say is she's always been consistent, eloquent with her post. And the fact that
100%.
I want to know, obviously, because I never talked to her before, I want to know, was she like everyone else or was she truly unique? And she is setting her own pathway. And she did. And the fact that she said that when I let people join my team, I'm honest. I'm letting them know I've struggled. I've been in debt. I've had issues where I didn't know what to do. But the
Yeah.
fact that you keep persevering and keep getting better and your life is like the chart, even though it is down, it will eventually get back up. So therefore, you have
And
no other reason to quit as well. So I thought that's very powerful, how
exactly.
transparent and honest she was.
And that's what makes an amazing leader. Like we always talk about conversations about manager versus leadership. What makes a good manager? They don't. Managers aren't good. What makes a good leader is someone who's personable, someone who's able to help you out, and someone who's able to give back. And she has given back to her community, to her team, and that's one of the most important things to do because you being a
It's deeper than
leader,
a check.
you being a leader doesn't always say, oh yeah, like do this, do that, and like you're influential. No, but also giving back. Like once you make it to a certain point to give back, give the advice that you learned, that someone does not have to go through the same pain that you went through. Like make it a little bit easier for them. Yes, there's hard work, and she has definitely put in the work. You know, her account says it all. Even though she was mentioning that people are always throwing hate, but people who throw hate, let's be honest here, they're just insecure of themselves and they want to project their insecurities on other people.
Of course.
They're envious of what she's doing, and she's mashallah, she's a successful person, successful business entrepreneur, co-founder of Game Changer, and you cannot discredit that for her. It's not like one day she woke up and she was like, oh yeah, this is mine. No, like she put in the work, she deserved it, and everybody who does follow their passion, as she mentioned, deserves that success.
And yeah, like you said, the fact that she was just honest and said that people who are in her industry, once again, like that mentality, that perception of using the flashiness, the cars, the girls, the partying, the lifestyle, like that is not real. What's real is what you do to help others at the end of the day. And when I asked her that question, her role models, bro, but when she went to herself 10 years from now, like yourself, I was like, okay, who is this person that we're talking to right now? Because the fact that she said that as the first answer, herself 10 years from now, I think you knew from my reaction. I want to ask her, like, whoa, stop. Don't even give me your other answers. What do you mean? That is a mind-blowing.
If we had more time, 100%. Because you know the thing is, she was talking about school, right? When she's talking about school, in my head, I wanted to say, I'm like, you know what, I'll leave it for the end. Her answer sounded exactly like my answer. I'm like, bro, like, why are we so alike about this topic? And
someone who says that, Osama, 10 years from now, myself, first,
bro,
that is a person
sounds
who
like
will achieve anything they want to. Like, it's already confirmed. It's only a matter of time.
Bro,
it's only a matter of time.
The thing is, a lot of people have to understand is the one thing I like about her is she didn't say anything about rushing success. It's all about patience.
No,
It's all about it's all
emotional
about
resilience.
emotional resilience, which we spoke about highly about, which is really important, especially within forex trading, because she said
Of
a lot
course.
of people are expecting to make money, but you are going to lose money, but you have to be capable of losing that and capable of understanding that, which a lot of people do not have. They might have to build. Who knows? Like we should have asked her. Maybe next time she can come back on, we could talk about that specifically.
Yeah.
But when she said 10 years from now, like obviously, a lot of people probably think that, but for her to say that, I just at a whole different level.
It's only a matter of time before the whole world, especially the people she's trying to create a leadership for, as far as the female Arab, like it's only a matter of time before they'll be walking in her footsteps. Because
Yeah.
honestly, she has that dream. We believe everything she's saying. She's putting in the action, so it's only a matter of time. And it's beautiful that she came on our show. It's beautiful that we had these conversations, and it's beautiful to watch what she does after today, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And honestly, you being a part of the show, myself included, having these people talk about their stories. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have $500,000. Doesn't matter if you have $10, $20 in your bank account. If you show and prove that you are that person, you are a visionary, and you're putting in the work, and everyone can see it, it's only a matter of time. So therefore, we have respect for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're the president or janitor. You are the exact same person. Equality is measured at all levels. Nothing exceeds that.
Exactly. What people have to
only
understand.
thing that exceeds is your ego. That's the only thing that exceeds.
That's facts. What people have to understand is, and I'll say this slowly, money doesn't make you a leader. It's the trials and tribulations that you go through that make you a leader.
Facts.
And she's not using her money to gloat on her Instagram. If you guys go on her Lee's Instagram, remember, make sure you follow her and get her to 10,000. She speaks about like how important it is to be successful. And she never spoke down about education, but she knew that wasn't her, and she wanted to take a different path, which she did. And for her to say that in 10 years, that's her mentor, that means she's working towards a goal and a mindset. So when you asked her about like milestones, a lot of people could say, here's my goal, but obviously a few amount of people, ourselves included, when she said that every milestone I attack, I want to go to the next one. I want to go to the next one. Not a lot of people say that.
Of course. Of course. It's never ending. That emotional resilience is something that's not inbred in you. It's something that you must acquire, right? And to acquire that takes a lot of sacrifice from relationships, friends, family, but through time, through patience, through understanding, and through that wisdom you get from all those trials and tribulations, like you said, there comes a new chapter in your book, which is the success, the accolades, accomplishments, where the whole world is looking to you and wanting to know what you simply did to become who you became. And after today, talking to her, I think we all know, we have an understanding, an idea of the person she will become. So I appreciate you for letting us let her come on the show. I appreciate you for asking her positive questions. I appreciate everyone for eventually listening to this episode. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're releasing new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Breaker, Anchor, and various platforms. Follow Osama at Kusa300.
Why'd you mess it up?
At Kusa300. What?
No, I'm just playing. Keep going.
You can follow me. I'm Mohammed.global. One last time, I'm Mohammed.global. And our main page, our group page, Ways, follow at Ways 2.0. Once again, at Ways 2.0. And to our guest, Leen, follow her at Leen.Saif. So it's LEEN.SAIF. Make sure to follow her. We want to get to 10K as soon as possible. And beautiful episode, beautiful conversations. Ways is the beginning, only gets better. Constant elevation, constant growth, sacrifice. We'll see you guys on the other side. Osama,
take it easy.
Peace.
Peace out, my brother.
Take care.
Take care.